What's up, Lead Gen Beast? Matty Ice here, Leads for Locals, and I wanted to do a video going start creating a Facebook ad campaign from start to finish. It's been a little while since we've done this. There's been updates to the Facebook interface, of course. They're constantly changing things. So I'm setting up a campaign in the life insurance industry. So we're focusing on burial life insurance, and I'm just going to show you how I create the campaign from start to finish. A lot of the assets I've already created. Some of them will go through and I might create like an additional ad image or something like that. But I'm going to have additional training in the description on how I create all of my assets that I'm going to be using inside of the for this particular campaign. So make sure you check those out. But I just want to, because there's a lot of steps involved and there's a lot of things you want to make sure that you do correctly, because it can actually make a big difference in the results of your ad campaign. There's some things that are pretty easy to miss, right? So I wanted to just do an updated video on how to create a really good Facebook ad campaign. We're going to be doing lead forms, still using Facebook lead forms, and we'll be introducing, we'll be using some custom questions and things like that, just to improve lead quality and whatnot. But let's go ahead and get into it. My only ask, as usual, if you find the video helpful, just do me a favor, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Check out all the links in the description. Again, there's going to be additional training on how to create a lot of these, like writing ad copy, for example, creating different types of ad creatives, videos, carousel ads, single image ads, things like that. So make sure you check that out, because it's combining a lot of different ad creatives can be very beneficial in your Facebook ad campaign. So make sure you check that out. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to head over to the Ads Manager and start putting this thing together. So like I said, I already have a lot of the assets put together. It's part of what I offer in my agency to my clients, is because I run a SaaS marketing agency for a couple of different industries. And part of what I give my clients is pre-made Facebook ad campaigns, so that they don't have to go out and, pay $5,000 or $3,000, whatever, for an agency to create their ad campaigns. They can literally just copy and paste the same exact ad campaigns that I've already run before. So I give them pre-written ad copy, targeting, what to put in the lead forms, obviously the ad creative that they can download as well. So that's basically what we're going to be setting up here. So let's get into the correct ad account here. Just make sure I find the right one here. Here we go. All right, so the first part of setting up an ad campaign, and the other thing I should say too is before this, you want to make sure that your business manager and your ads manager is set up correctly as well. There's certain things like obviously creating the ad account, making sure your business page is set up, creating the data set. That used to be called pixels. They're not calling it pixels anymore. I have no idea why, but now it's called data set. So you want to make sure you have that set up, and also the business info. So again, I'm going to have another training in the description on how to set up your ads manager correctly, because while it's not a guarantee that it will avoid, like completely avoid your account getting shut down, banned, whatever, or disabled, it does help. When you set up your ads manager correctly, it actually makes a big difference in making sure that your ad account does not get banned. All right, so make sure you have that set up. I already have that set up right now. Go through the training down below if you want more information on that. But for now, we are going to go to, so we're going to hover over here. We're going to click on campaigns now that we have the correct ad account, and we're going to click on create. So we're under the campaigns tab right here. So you got campaigns, ad sets, and ads. So that's still the same. So we're under campaigns. We'll click create, and we're going to choose leads. That's what we need to select if we're going to use Facebook lead forms. All right, and we'll give it a name. I'm going to do one, since this is the first campaign that I'm creating for this particular client in this industry. So we're going to do, let's see, we're going to do burial insurance guide. And then we'll put lead gen, so that I know this is the lead form campaign, because I do run conversion campaigns as well, sending people to a landing page off of Facebook. When I do lead gen, we're using the instant form. So it's just good to stay organized. Now, I'm just going to talk briefly about the offer. The lead magnet within your Facebook ad makes a huge difference in the results that you get, guys. I've tested all different kinds of lead magnets and different ways to generate leads. And I'm telling you, like the offer is really, really important. So you want to make sure that you have a really good lead magnet in order to build your list, in order to get people, entice your audience to actually submit the form and engage with your ad, etc. So again, I have additional training on creating really good lead magnets. In this particular case, we're using a free guide. I find that on Facebook, like I'm not ever, when I'm running Facebook ad campaigns, I'm never trying to get an appointment right away. I am focused on building the list, having people go through the funnel, consume some of our content, and let people come to us. That's what I focus on. So, maybe we get less appointments than, if you got like a really sophisticated AI chatbot or something like that right now. And I'm not saying that AI chatbots are bad. Those are fantastic. But I actually like to take a little bit of a less aggressive approach when it comes to making sales and appointments and let people come to us by first providing value up front. So I find that with Facebook ad campaigns, things like free guides, free checklist, free master classes, like some type of free content, especially if you are in a professional services industry where there's sometimes there's an education process. Like people tend to have a lot of questions versus just making an impulsive buying decision. Hopefully the lighting isn't too bad. I just realized the lighting here is pretty awful. Hopefully that's not too bad. Anyways. So make sure that you have a really good offer that your audience resonates with, that is going to entice them to interact with your ad. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, we're not in any special ads category, so we don't need to worry about that. We're going to scroll down. Always make sure these things are turned off. I'm not saying not to use these features. I just never have. I have done campaign budget before, and I suppose if you're doing $1,000 a day or something like that with multiple different campaigns, this might be beneficial. But for our purposes, we're creating a campaign, $25 a day in one state. We're not using campaign budget. All right, so we're going to leave that. All right, let's hit next. Make sure that Instant Forms is selected, since that's what we want to use. We want to use lead forms right now. All right, let's get rid of this. All right, we're going to scroll down. We've already accepted the terms and conditions for the Instant Form, so we'll leave that. Maximum number of leads. I should say too, guys, I completely ignore this right here. Estimated daily results. Like, it'll say, hey, we can get 3 or 14 leads, which, what does that even mean? That's such a huge range, such a large variation. Like, you can't really make any decisions based on that. But I've also had Facebook tell me that we would generate 0 leads, and we generated a ton of leads, right? So take everything that Facebook tells you and suggests with a big grain of salt. So just keep that in mind. All right, now, you'll see here, so we're going to get into our targeting here. We see we got obviously a pretty large audience because we haven't narrowed down our targeting yet. The daily budget, I'll just, I recommend a minimum of 20 per day. I usually do 25 per day. It depends on the demographics and actually I should say the size of the audience that you're targeting. When I've got a pretty decent audience size, I like to do at least 25 per day. Anything less than that or like 20 per day, you're just not giving Facebook enough resources to optimize as quickly. I'm not saying that it wouldn't over time, but typically I find that you'll get better results faster if you can give it a little extra budget. All right. So we're going to do 25 per day, and we're going to see if we can launch this tomorrow morning. So I'm going to choose tomorrow. And I always start my campaigns very early in the morning. So we're going to do 4:45 a.m. I mean, there's, you can do it 4, 5 a.m., whatever. But you'll find that once your campaign is approved and it launches, it takes, sometimes especially with newer ad accounts, it takes a couple of hours for the campaign to actually start getting impressions and start spending your ad spend. So we want to give it all day to run the campaign. All right, so we started early in the morning. Let's scroll down, and now we're going to get into our targeting. So we're going to click Edit here. Now, I'll have training down below on this. This is a really stupid update that Facebook did, and I don't know why they do things like this, and they're kind of notorious for it. It's very frustrating. You'll see here, we actually used to be able to, we had like 4 different options when it comes to locations. We used to be able to select the option to just people living in this geographical area. You can't do that anymore. It just defaults to this right here. Reach people living in or recently in this location. This is really bad for local businesses. I'm going to show you a workaround here in a second. I've got training on it. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. So this is kind of a pain. The good thing is that what I'm about to show you, you only have to do it once if you're doing local businesses or if you are in specific states. It's kind of a pain to do up front, but basically what we need to do is exclude all of the other locations that we don't want. I know, it's really dumb and pretty ridiculous. Fortunately, I mean, the Facebook algorithm is pretty smart. So if we're targeting, in this case, we're targeting just Texas, then the algorithm should figure out that we only want people in Texas. But, you know, we still want to let Facebook know, like, hey, we don't want any people outside of this geographical location. So what we're going to do is get rid of United States here, and we're going to type in Texas for the state. And unfortunately, what we have to do at this point is change this to exclude, and we need to exclude all of the other states. I know, it sucks. But the good thing is, like I said, you only have to do this once because you can save the audience afterwards so that when the next campaign you create, you don't have to exclude every single state again or zip code or whatnot. You can just choose that saved audience, maybe change some of the interests, but you don't have to exclude all the different states and cities, zip codes, etc. So I'll have additional training on how to do that later. And I will say that this is not a guarantee that you're going to avoid getting people in a different state or location than you want. It's no guarantee. We're just using the tools that we have at our disposal for this. So basically what we would do is just start kind of going down the list. We're going to exclude Alabama. And I'm going to pause this in a second and go through all these. Like, I'm not going to exclude all of them live here. But see, what we're doing is we're excluding these different states because we want to make sure that we're only getting Texas in this particular case. All right, so I'm going to pause this really quick. I'm going to go through all these different states, and then we'll come back and finish up. All right, fun stuff. So we've got all of our excluded states here. So we're going to scroll down. I'm going to go ahead and save this for now. And originally, there was no option to do this. You have to switch back to the original audience. So if yours is a little bit different, there was an option to show additional options, or a tab to show additional options, and then you can switch back to the original audience setting, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and save this audience now. So we're going to do Texas only. Click Save. And now we'll click Edit again, and we're going to actually adjust the age and targeting and all that stuff. So we're going to click Edit. Now, I don't usually mess with the age too much, actually, believe it or not, regardless of what service I'm doing. But in this particular case, since we're doing final expense insurance, that's usually at least 50 and up. So this is one of the cases where I will adjust the age range. Sometimes too, when we're doing when I'm running ads for retirement planning, retirement services, we'll bump up the age to maybe 35, 40, etc. But again, the algorithm is pretty good at identifying who your target audience is. But in this case, we're getting a little bit more specific. So right now, our audience size, we're looking at 5.6 million to 6.6 million. So that's still pretty good. And we're going to click Edit on the detailed targeting. Now, there's a lot of different targeting options you can do. One of my favorite strategies is to do multi-layer targeting to get really specific on who we're putting our ad in front of. But you don't necessarily have to do that all the time, especially if you're doing more local ads. Like if you're doing nationwide and your audience size is 50 million people, then I'm going to try and narrow that down with multiple layers of targeting here. But in this particular case, we're already at the max of 6.6 million. So I don't want to limit it too much. But what we're going to do is, let's type in life insurance. So I like to start with kind of the broad type of targeting that we're looking for. In this case, we're offering a form of life insurance. So you can see here, so if we choose life insurance, so we've got our first interest. Let's see what that does. 1.2 million is the max. That's not too bad for a state, for like statewide advertising, but I want to see if I can bump that up a little bit. So we're going to click on suggestions, and we're going to start to select these other types of insurance here that are related to life insurance. Let's see where we're at now. Yeah, that didn't really do anything. And a lot of it is the demographic there. Let's try insurance policy. That bumped it up a little bit. Again, and look, 1.4 million, that's not bad for statewide. But I want to see if I can bump it up a little bit. So in this case, like, I'm not going to do multiple layers because our audience is already small enough. Like, if I start adding additional layers by clicking narrowing audience and we add a second layer, maybe we do parents, grandparents, or something like that, and we try and get really targeted, it's really going to limit the amount of people that you have exposure to. So in this case, we're just going to do insurance for interest, and we'll do one layer. Let's see if we can do, we'll do general insurance as well. Nah, that didn't really do anything. Property insurance we don't want. Retirement age. Again, we could do another ad set where we target people in retirement. Maybe we do that. But in this case, with final expense insurance, we're just going to do the insurance interest for now. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see. Yeah, you know what? We'll go ahead and update the audience that we just saved, because we can always use the audience again later and take out the interest or change the interest. But like I said earlier, now, like, the next time we do a campaign here, we won't have to exclude all of the states. It'll already be done because we saved it. So we are targeting Texas, and we excluded all these other states. It's it really doesn't take that long. It's just kind of annoying that we have to do that. Like, why can't we just choose to target people in our local area? Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, the placements, let's click show more options. All placements selected. See, this changes constantly. Audience network, that's fine. Switch to manual placements. We don't want to do that. I always leave I just put it on auto or advantage placements, whatever it's called, whatever they're calling it these days. So I don't really take away different placements. So, all right. So for this particular campaign, we're going to do two different ads, two different styles of ads. So I'm going to do, I'm going to do the video first. So we're going to do video ad 1, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Make sure you got the correct Facebook page selected. Don't worry, we're not really worried about Instagram. We're going to turn off multi-advertiser ads. I haven't really tested this, but it seems like this is more for like e-commerce, or if you're selling, like actually selling products, like exposure to people in a shopping mindset, along with ads from multiple businesses. I don't really want to do that. Because we're trying to build a list. We're trying to provide education to people, a free burial life insurance guide, etc. So I'm not really interested in the multi-advertiser ad. So single image video. What we're going to do, I'm going to head over to Canva. And I just did a video on the channel about this, guys. This is a really cool ad campaign. Very cool ad creative, where if you are interested in implementing video ads into your marketing, you can use Canva to create really cool text-based video ads pretty quickly, pretty quick, pretty easy. So make sure you check out that training in the description. I'm going to show you, I'm just going to pull it up here really quick. Here we go. And basically all it is it's text that go, it's like each scene is like 6 to 8 seconds long, depending on how much text is on the video. There's a little bit of background. I wouldn't call it music, it's noise. This particular ad, again, go through the training. I like to see what inspired this type of ad, but there's a little bit of background music that you can put to this. And basically what we're doing is in 60 seconds, we're just telling a story. If you were to kind of like maybe take your the benefits, the story, the messaging, etc., behind your offer and why you're trying to provide this to your audience and condense it into 60 seconds, that's kind of what this is. And I'm basically saying, average budget for coffee, 100, 150 per month. And what I'm trying to do here is touch on a little bit of a heartstring and just also expose the fact or bring to light the fact that, people, a lot of the times they don't get life insurance because they think of it as an expense. They don't want to spend the extra 50, 100, 200 bucks a month, whatever it is, it depends on how much insurance you want and need. But, on the flip side of that, they'll go spend money on coffee and Netflix and cable, internet, all of these other discretionary items, but they won't pay 50 to 100 bucks a month for the life insurance, right? So I'm just I'm kind of pushing their button a little bit and just letting them know, like, hey, you're spending all this money on this other stuff. Why not protect the most important thing in your life, which is your loved ones, your family, your kids, your grandkids, etc. And that's basically what we're doing here. Average budget for internet and streaming, average budget for phone service, average budget for dine and takeout. So we're spending all this money on this other stuff, but the average budget for life insurance is 0, right? So it just kind of plays on the heartstring a little bit, makes people think a little bit, right? So we spend money on all these discretionary items, and again, guys, in my other training, I go through step by step how to create this. So check that out if you want to test this type of campaign out. All right. So that's our video ad here. So request our free comprehensive and life insurance guide. I'm going to change this to burial life insurance guide just to make it a little bit more specific to the type of audience that we are targeting, and also our offer. Our offer is specifically a burial life insurance guide. So I want to be consistent with all of the messaging throughout my entire marketing campaign. So let's go ahead and download this. We're going to download it as an MP4 file since it's a video. We'll give that a minute to download. Let's go back to our ad campaign and finish a couple of other things up. All right, we're going to delete the media right here since we're going to be adding a different video here shortly. All right, let's scroll down. Our primary text, headline, and description. First, I'm going to change this call to action to learn more. That's usually the call to action that I use. And I'm going to actually grab the pre-made ad copy that I have written here. Just give me 1 second and then we'll go through it. All right, good to go. So we'll go through the ad copy here in a second, but let's go ahead and get the video done. So we have single image or video selected. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to click on add media and add video. And we're just going to upload this really quick. There we go. Cool. All right, let's click next. Now, you want to make sure, let's get rid of that. Next. Make sure that original is selected. I don't want to trim this. Okay, here we go. So always make sure that that original is selected on these. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes a couple of these will be on the recommended versions and it looks terrible. So I always choose, most of the time I choose original here. I don't think I've ever not chosen original. So just make sure that you choose that. Otherwise, your ad can end up looking pretty weird in the newsfeed. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going to leave all this. That's fine. All right, let's click done. Good to go. All right, we've got our video in there now. And what we can do, actually, you know what? There is one thing we're going to edit with video. So let's edit this. We're gonna select a different thumbnail. That's what I want to do. So right here where it says thumbnail, it should bring up. Yeah, okay, here we go. Average budget. I'm just gonna choose one of these average budget ones. That's what I want. There we go. That's fine. All right, so let's click save. There we go. All right, now let's scroll down. Now I have a pretty specific formula that I use for ad copy. I'm gonna have a link down in the description that goes through that. But just to give you a 30,000 foot overview of it, I try not to overcomplicate ad copy, because at the end of the day, the offer and putting that offer in front of the right audience, right offer, right audience, that's what I have found makes the biggest difference when it comes to getting good results with really any marketing campaign, is putting the right offer in front of the right audience. Testing all different kinds of ad copy and stuff and ad creatives, it's important, but at the end of the day, you got to make sure you have the right offer. All right. So, but my formula for ad copy is identifying and calling out your audience, identifying the problem, identifying and offering the solution, making the providing the offer and then the call to action. So we're calling out our audience. In this case, we're just calling out, we're saying life insurance. So we're not calling out necessarily a specific audience, but that's kind of where our targeting comes in, where we're targeting people in a specific age range and demographic that have expressed interest in life insurance. We already know that they're kind of searching around for it a little bit. So when we say life insurance right off the bat, and in this case, I'm going to do burial life insurance to call it out. I'm kind of calling out my audience already because I know that they're already searching on the internet for that kind of thing, right? So I'm calling out the audience right there. But sometimes I actually call out the specific audience that I'm going after. It just depends. From there, we start talking about the problem, and in this particular case, it's not having proper coverage with life insurance, protecting loved ones, covering burial expenses, etc. Not the most popular thing, but I kind of turn it into a little bit of a story. So I'm not just saying, hey, here's the problem. It's the fact that you don't have burial life insurance. I am kind of telling a story around it a little bit. So one of the most important financial decisions we'll ever make. That's why we never recommend buying it online, etc. How do we buy health insurance? How do we buy auto property insurance? So again, I'm kind of speaking to the journey that people go through. When they express interest in life insurance, then these are some of the things that they encounter, right? From there, the solution. So we get a customized policy for our specific needs. Right here, through a licensed agent is kind of the solution that we're talking about here. And then the offer is going to be the actual like life insurance guide, in this case, comprehensive burial life insurance guide, and then the call to action. I kind of combine the offer with the call to action here. Click on the learn more button. That's the call to action. The offer is the free guide that we put together for them. All right, so that's ad copy. The headline is very specific. It's like whatever it is that you're offering, here it is. Like we want it to be very clear what this ad is about and what they can get from it. So if someone is searching on the internet for life insurance, burial life insurance, etc., and they see something offering a free life insurance guide, that should resonate with them. So we want to make it very clear what this ad is about, and it's to offer them a free burial life insurance guide. Description, don't worry about the description too much. I just put a quick sentence here, learn everything you need to know about burial life insurance. That's just a small part of the ad, so not a huge deal. All right, and let's go ahead and create our form here. So this is the lead form or instant form. It's what pops up on Facebook when someone clicks the ad. So the first thing I do always is change the settings to open, so that if someone shares the ad and someone who sees that shared post wants to get the free guide, they're able to do that. It's basically free leads. It doesn't usually happen a ton. It depends on the industry and the offer, but it's so good to change that setting. So we're going to do, I'm going to name this Burial Life Insurance Guide 1, because a lot of times we will end up needing to duplicate this instant form. So then the next one I'll name number 2, number 3, because you can't edit an instant form or lead form after you have submitted it. You have to duplicate it, then change it, and then resubmit the whole thing. It's annoying, but whatever. All right, I usually keep this on more volume. The only time I change this to higher intent is if you're getting a lot of like bad phone numbers or whatever. But if you add multiple custom questions, that really that does kind of weed out the tire kickers a little bit. It gets more information, gets people who are a little bit more serious. So you're always going to get some wrong numbers. It is what it is. But if it's a pretty low percentage, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just the cost of doing business. But if you are getting a lot of bad information, then higher intent could be a good option. Where because this basically makes them confirm their information before they're able to submit the form. But I'm going to leave it on more volume for now. And we'll do use image from ad. Should give us a preview of what that looks like. I might actually create an image for the form. I'll show you that in a second. But let's finish this up. Greeting. So again, just keeping a very consistent message here. Request the free burial life insurance guide below. Now, I didn't say your or you or anything like that. I try to limit using words that call out the audience specifically because sometimes it leads to the ad getting rejected. That's just Facebook's algorithm, is what it is. And let's see. I'll grab the paragraph of the list here, and I'll copy and paste that, and we'll go through it. 1 second. All right. So we just have 3 simple bullet points here. Learn how burial insurance protects your loved ones, how to qualify, how to determine how much you need, etc. And we're just taking, you're picking 3 to 5 main bullet points of the benefits that people are going to get from whatever it is that you're offering. That's it. You can do paragraph as well, maybe 1 or 2 sentences about the benefits of what they're going to get. Is one better than the other? Not really. We get good results doing both. So let's go to questions. This is a really important tab. So the first thing we'll do is the description. Actually, let me see if I can just copy and paste this just to save some time. I don't have it here. That's annoying. All right, whatever. So usually what I like to do here is just tell them to confirm their information below. Please confirm your info below to make sure you receive the burial life insurance guide. All right, that's it. And I'll reorganize this. We'll do full name, email, phone number. So we're going to add a contact field here for the phone number. And then we're going to add a couple of custom questions. We could also do state in this particular case. We're only doing Texas, but again, the way that we have to set it up now, it's not a perfect solution. So there could be an instance where there's probably going to be a few instances where we get people in different states. But the main thing about this is the more information you ask for, typically the more resistance that creates and the higher quality lead that you tend to get. Again, it's not a sure thing, but the more information you ask for, generally, the more serious the lead is if they submit the form versus just doing name, email, phone number. Because remember, also this stuff auto-populates inside of the lead form, making it very easy for people to submit these things. So yeah, asking for a little bit more information can be beneficial. And we're going to add a question here. We're going to do multiple choice. All right, and we'll say... what were the questions do you currently have? So this is a pretty simple question. Do you currently have life insurance? That's it. Very simple question. I usually make these questions like a simple yes or no question or an easy question to answer because we don't want to create so much resistance that we scare people off or annoy people that would be good leads. But we want to ask at least one custom question so that, again, people aren't just very easily submitting forms when they don't really know what they're submitting or whatnot. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to get the best possible lead. So do you currently have life insurance? It's a very simple question, but the fact that they have to answer it and take time to answer that question can be really powerful. So yes, I do. No, I do not. That's it. That's all we have to do. And you can add a couple of them, and you can even use conditional logic here. I have additional training on this feature. I do think this is a really neat feature, especially if you're more focused on quality and not volume. Then conditional logic can be a really powerful feature. So make sure you learn more about that in the description. But for now, we're going to stick with this one multiple choice question here. We're not going to use conditional logic for now. We'll scroll down. We'll do a privacy policy. This is pretty simple. The link text is going to be privacy policy, and then you're just going to paste in your privacy policy link. I'm going to grab that really quick. I'll be right back. All right, so the final part of the lead form here, the instant form, is message for leads. This is basically the confirmation page for the lead form. All right, so I already filled this out. Success, important next step, please read. Because basically what we're trying to do here is get people to take the next step in the funnel. If they're ready. So in this particular case, we're getting people that, are likely in research mode. They're trying to get questions answered. So not everybody here is going to request a free quote. They'll only request a free guide, and that's fine. But some people will be ready to move forward with purchasing life insurance, right? And we want to make sure that we give those people the opportunity to move forward in the process, right? So that's what we're doing on this particular step is we're letting them know that there's another step here, and we're saying, you know, they'll receive the free guide via email shortly, check your spam folder, etc. In the meantime, you can also click the button down below to request a free quote in this case. So whatever the next step of your funnel is after your initial lead magnet, you want to put here to give people an opportunity to move forward. And that's what we're doing. We're letting them know there's no obligations. You can learn what your best options are, etc. There's a link to that goes to the step in the funnel. And then we have our call to action text, right? Request a free custom burial insurance quote. And that's it. So I think that's all we need to do there. So we're going to click on create form. And we're good to go there. Last thing on this part before we publish it is we're going to scroll down and do create a URL parameter. And this is really really powerful for tracking leads. And so we're going to build a URL parameter here. It's very simple. We'll talk about this a little bit more in a second. Let me just get this done here. So we're going to do site source name, the medium. I always do ad set name. The campaign name is going to be campaign name. Campaign content is going to be the ad name. And this basically, whatever CRM you're using, it allows you to create tracking reports or whatnot based on very specific ad campaigns. So we don't, this is not a huge deal with this being our first campaign, but as we create more campaigns and we want to run reports later on to see where are the majority of our leads coming from, or maybe leads that we've closed, which campaign did they come from, then we can search based on the URL parameter. So it's pretty easy to do. So I just do it really quick, even if you're not going to use it anytime soon. And that's it. We've got our ad campaign. We're going to click on publish. And then what I like to do here, so here's the thing, is depending on, oh wow, okay, I didn't know we had to add payment. I thought they already did that. So I'm going to exit out of this for now, and it'll just be in draft. But depending on the campaign that I'm running, I usually like to have at least 2 or 3 different types of ad creatives in the same ad set just to give Facebook some variety to work with. I've just had the best results that way. Again, though, it depends on the type of campaign, because if you watch my training on the post style ads that we're doing, like that's the only ad we run and it's just knocking it out of the park. So it just depends on the campaign we're running, and it comes down to testing too. You don't really know what's going to work until you start to test it out. But normally what I do here is if I am going to run or use multiple different ad creatives, then I will actually duplicate this ad. So let's click on duplicate. We'll do original campaign. We're going to do 1 copy for now. All right, we'll duplicate it, and I'll keep everything the same. The only thing I'll change is the media, the actual ad creative itself. So in this case, we'll do a post style image, and we'll scroll down. Let's get rid of the preview because it just lags really bad. And I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to remove our media. We're going to head back over to Canva, and let me see if I can find. Oh yeah, I was going to do this for the background image, but that's all right. It's not a huge deal on the lead form. Let's go to well, there it is. Hang on. Let's go back. So this is a really awesome style ad, and it's so easy to make, and it's like the opposite of really professional. And I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well is it looks like a post in somebody's newsfeed. So if we look at this, like that looks like something that someone would do in the newsfeed, like on their phone, versus a really super professional looking ad image that you can tell a marketing company created. This looks like something our friend posted, right? So I don't know. There's something about it that it's just working really good. So we could do just put together a free burial life insurance guide. Who would like a copy? That's it. That's all we're doing. So let's go ahead and name it so we stay organized. Let's see, burial life insurance guide. I'm going to do post style ad image. All right, so we're going to download this as a PNG. And actually, I am going to go ahead and create the image, the background image for the lead form. I'll show you what we do there because it can make a difference. I'm going to make a copy of this. And again, I have training on how to do this in the description. But all this is a background. So if you scroll down in Canva, Canva's awesome. Like if you click on background, there's like different gradient backgrounds that you can do, and then you just add text to it. That's it. You have your Facebook ad image right there. That's it. That's all you have to do. Select your background and put text on it. That's literally all we do with this. So, and we're going to do the same thing for this one, except we're going to, this is the background image for the instant form. I'll show you what it looks like in a second, but we put the text up here at the top. So we're going to do, get this free guide to learn how to protect your loved ones using or with burial life insurance. Let's put affordable. Why not? All right, blue gradients. Let's see. We're gonna do burial life insurance guide. Let's get rid of the copy. I'm just OCD like that. All right. So we have the background image for our instant form. All right. So now if we go back to the ads manager. All right, let's first add our media, which is going to be the new image we just created, that post style image. All right, right here. All right, it should auto select it. Let's give it a second. There we go. We'll click next. And again, make sure this is all on original. Just watch this. Like, does that look really good to you? Like, I don't even know why Facebook would suggest doing something like that. It's just really stupid. I suppose if you're creating like the actual dimensions for this, I mean, maybe it could be beneficial. I don't know. I've never seen a difference in the results. So we'll click next. Let's click done. We don't need to worry about any of this stuff. All right. So see how the form, the background in the form, it just looks kind of funky and it cuts off the text there. So what we're going to do is actually duplicate this because again, I already submitted the form, so I can't edit it. So we're going to change this to number 2. And there's a reason we do this, one, to stay organized in the ads manager, but when we connect this form to our CRM, which is GoHighLevel in this case, if you guys don't have it, holy crap, it's an amazing piece of software. It is just awesome. I'll have training on how to use it in the description. It literally gives you everything you could ever possibly need to do with your online marketing. It is awesome. There'll be a 2-week free trial in the description. It does help support the channel. It's an affiliate link. I do appreciate the support if you want to go through that. But anyways, so we duplicated the form. We're going to scroll down. Everything stays the same. We changed the name, but we're going to, I think it's the intro. Yeah, right here. So under intro, instead of using the image from the ad, we're going to use an uploaded image. We're going to upload the one we just created inside of Canva, which is this guy right here. And you're going to see how much better this looks. Look at that. It's like an additional call to action on the page. So if you think about what your landing page would look like if you were sending them to an actual web page, that's kind of what we're doing right here. Now we're going to create form. And we do need to make sure we change the form in the other ad, so don't forget to do that. But, and I can't publish because we need a, a payment method on file, which the client will do. But we'll go ahead and exit out for now just to save it. And let's edit the video ad to make sure we have the correct form selected. Here we go, right there. That's what we want. All right, now we'll click exit just to save it as draft. And that's it. That's our ad campaign. And at this point, you know, every CRM is going to be a little bit different. I have training. Again, I got so much training for you guys on this channel that I'll have down below. But I walk you through step by step how to connect this form to your CRM, particularly GoHighLevel. That's what I recommend. But what we want to do is obviously make sure that any leads that we generate goes into our CRM. And in order to do that, there's just a couple of extra steps that we need to do. It's pretty easy. Just follow it, step by step in that additional training. But that is it. I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We're at almost the 45-minute mark. So appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope this was valuable. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think. I would love your feedback and any questions that you have, anything that you're struggling with regarding your Facebook ad campaigns. Just let me know what those are, and I'll create some additional videos on them, because I want to make sure that you guys are crushing it with your ad campaigns, because Facebook is still a great way to build a pipeline. Just got to make sure that you're putting all the pieces together correctly. All right. So I hope you guys are crushing it, and I will talk to you in the next one. Matty Ice is out. To your success.